Tonight I'm opening the floor to 3 gut-wrenching confessions that will pull you deep into the raw, painful reality of betrayal. Each story starts with a moment of truth that has been hidden for years, a confession that shatters everything you thought you knew about love and trust. I'll walk you through the details, the signs that were missed, and the path to reclaiming power after the storm. Get ready, because these aren't just stories, they're lived experiences that echo the heartbreak many of us have faced. The night he finally confessed, my heart hammered against my ribs like a frantic drum. He perched on the edge of our bed, eyes glued to the floor, and whispered that the texts, the late-night calls, the mysterious trips were all real. The words crashed over me like an icy wave, erasing the love I thought we shared. I could hear the floorboards creak beneath us, each promise we'd made crumbling into dust as his voice trembled with guilt. In that moment, the house we built together felt like a stranger's dwelling, and I realized I'd been living a lie for far too long. We had been married 8 years, a partnership that seemed solid on the surface. He was the reliable one, steady job, quiet evenings, and a habit of surprising me with small gestures that made me feel cherished. Friends praised our unity, and I imagined a future of quiet mornings, shared dreams, and growing old together. The routine felt safe, his calm demeanor an anchor I depended on. I never imagined a betrayal could hide behind such stability, which made the eventual confession feel like a betrayal of everything I believed love should be, turning my world upside down. Little things added up, his phone always on silent, sudden business trips he never explained, and a growing distance when I asked about his day. I caught a faint perfume lingering on his shirt, and his laughter sounded strange during family gatherings. I tried to ignore the nagging feeling, convincing myself that stress at work was the cause. Each ignored warning became a brick in the wall I later walked through, and the guilt of not seeing the truth weighed heavier than the betrayal itself, a heavy cloak I now wish I had shed sooner. After the confession, I demanded transparency and set firm boundaries. We attended counseling, and he handed over every password, showing me the messages that had haunted me. The pain didn't disappear overnight, but honesty became the foundation for rebuilding. I focused on self-care, reclaimed old hobbies, and surrounded myself with supportive friends. Today, I'm single, stronger, and no longer afraid of my intuition. The experience taught me that truth, however brutal, is the only path to genuine freedom, and I now walk forward with renewed confidence and clarity. Now we shift to a spouse who hid a secret life for years, only to be uncovered by a misplaced receipt. This seemingly small slip of paper will unravel a web of lies, exposing the depth of deception and the emotional fallout that follows. Stay tuned as we dive into the details of how an everyday object became the catalyst for a life-changing revelation. I was folding laundry when a crumpled restaurant receipt fell from his jacket pocket. The date stamped 2 weeks ago, the location half 100 miles away, and a name I didn't recognize stared back at me. My stomach dropped as I realized it wasn't a business expense. I confronted him that night, demanding explanations, and he broke down, admitting he'd been seeing someone else for months. The receipt became tangible proof that my marriage was built on half-truths and whispered lies, shattering the illusion of a stable partnership. We met in college, bonded over late-night study sessions, and married after a whirlwind romance. 10 years later, we had 2 children and a house that echoed with laughter. He was the nice guy everyone trusted, always volunteering for school events and fixing broken plumbing. Our love story seemed ordinary yet comforting, the kind of partnership that promised permanence. I believed we were inseparable, so discovering a secret life felt like the ground itself had split beneath our family, leaving me to pick up the shattered pieces. He started leaving early for work meetings that never appeared on his calendar, and his phone would buzz with unknown numbers he quickly silenced. I found unfamiliar perfume on his cufflinks and noticed he was unusually protective of his laptop. When I asked about his whereabouts, he offered vague answers, and his guilt-ridden smiles grew tighter. I tried to rationalize each oddity, convincing myself that stress or a new project explained the distance, until the receipt forced the truth into light, exposing the hidden chapter of his life. I filed for divorce, prioritizing our children's stability while reclaiming my own identity. I moved into a small apartment, surrounded myself with supportive friends, and began a journal to process the grief. He agreed to co-parent respectfully, and though the pain lingers, I now see the split as an opportunity for growth. I'm rebuilding my confidence, embracing independence, and reminding myself that I deserve honesty. The receipt was a painful catalyst, but it also ignited my resolve to live authentically and fiercely. Finally, we hear from someone whose partner confessed after a shocking family revelation turned everything upside down. This story shows how secrets can be kept not just by a lover, but by an entire family, and how that revelation can finally break the silence. During a holiday dinner, my boyfriend's sister whispered that their mother had known about his affair for years, keeping it hidden to protect the family's reputation. My heart stopped as the words echoed through the bustling room. He stared at the table, eyes widening, then finally admitted the truth. He had been involved with a coworker, lying to everyone, including me. The confession ripped through the festive atmosphere, turning celebration into a silent, cold battlefield of broken trust and stunned relatives. We had been dating for 3 years, moving in together after a whirlwind romance that felt like destiny. He was charming, supportive, and always seemed to have my back during stressful times at work. Our friends loved us, and we planned a future that involved traveling and possibly marriage. The bond felt deep, and I trusted him with my vulnerabilities. The revelation that his family had known about his betrayal all along shattered the foundation of the love I thought we shared, leaving me questioning every memory. He would disappear for long evenings, claiming overtime, yet never mentioned the coworker's name. I noticed his sudden interest in fitness classes he never attended, and his phone would buzz with a familiar ringtone that I didn't recognize. When I asked about his day, his answers were vague, and he grew defensive when I mentioned his family. I dismissed my doubts, believing his charisma could mask any flaw, until his sister's whispered confession forced the hidden truth into stark reality, shattering my trust completely. After the confession, I ended the relationship and cut ties with the family that had enabled the deceit. I sought therapy to untangle the emotional knots, and I leaned heavily on my close friends for support. Over time, I reclaimed my sense of self, learning to trust my intuition again. Today, I'm thriving solo, focusing on personal goals and building a life free from manipulation. The painful revelation taught me that honesty, even when delayed, is the only path to genuine freedom and self-respect. Betrayal cuts deep, but each confession can become a stepping stone toward healing and empowerment. Remember, you deserve truth and respect in every relationship. More real stories are posted every day. Subscribe so you never miss one. Which story hit hardest for you today? Share your thoughts in the comments, and let's support each other on the road to recovery.